cause any trouble and I'll drag you straight to lockup.
The settled system's premier financial institution. Have you tried one of our advanced...
I don't like the look of you.
Yeah, what? Is this important? I'm really busy right now. Let me save you some time. If you're here for a job, we're not hiring. If you're here about the conduction grid tour, we shut it down a year ago. Good. If you were, you'd be the 12th person I've turned away this year. What a waste. Look, I'm sorry if I'm blowing up at you, but I've got a ton of problems and no time to deal with them all. I'm afraid that things aren't going terribly well around here. I don't care if I'm allowed to or not. I'm happy to get this off my chest. The conduction grid went online almost 75 years ago. And since then, we haven't developed a single groundbreaking innovation. At this point, the money we're taking in as a power utility barely covers the waste that's going on in the research and development division. You'd think that, right? The problem is that Brayson Bayou, Administrator Bayou's brother, is currently heading up the R&D division. I swear to you, the man doesn't know the first thing about power systems or electromagnetic technology. None whatsoever. Look, I'm running out of options. No one above me seems to care what's going on, but I'm willing to take a chance. I have a full report on Brayson that I want to send to Administrator Bayou, but I don't know if he can be trusted. What do you think I should do? You know what? You're absolutely right. I can't allow Brayson to run this company into the ground. Hey, look, thanks for helping me. If there's anything else you need. As long as it doesn't get... Whoa. Okay, that's crossing the line. I don't have time for this. I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. Okay, listen. You didn't hear this from me, but I know she's up to something with Benjamin Bayou. He was in her office a few weeks ago, and they had some kind of shouting match. It got really heated until Bayou stormed out the door. I don't know what it was about, but I happen to know Miss Komiko keeps audio recordings of all her meetings in her safe. And before you ask, yes, I'll unlock it for you. Just don't tell anyone I helped, okay? Because I'm sick and tired of the corruption that's running through this city. People around here spend half their lives terrified about being backstabbed, and spend the rest of it planning on how they're going to screw over someone else. Something rotten is going on in this company, and one day, I hope to find out what it is. She's my boss. She's fine, I guess. Look, like I said, I don't want to get into serious trouble. She might be a bit tough on all of us, but being responsible for Neon's power grid is a very stressful position. Sometimes that stress trickles down. I've only been working here for a few years now, and she's been my boss the entire time. Well, the big boss is our CEO, Mr. Harada. Sure, no problem. It was great speaking with you.
Haven't met our CEO, Mr. Harada? Me either. He's never around.
You don't need to wear your helmet in here. You know that, right? Stay out of
trouble or we'll have a problem.
Advanced teller machines. GalBank ATMs are spread throughout the settled systems, so you can do your banking
Not
your own
interested.
way, or your own
Honestly, it's diverting funds to xenobiological research.
Okay, let's settle this once and for all.
Welcome.
Velocity
Please,
or
make yourself
chimera?
comfortable.
You've
I
been
can
in
offer you a
Chimera
drink.
all day.
Or
Why do you think I'm here?
no, no. You people should leave her alone. What do you want with her?
Will get you hammered.
See, you just proved my point.
No
Down
way.
your third velocity,
You debt collect.
crowd
Now get out of my.
By the
Wouldn't be
third
the first
Chimera,
club out.
Floating on frickin' cloud 9. I don't know
The-
about you, but that's where
The Crimson Fleet.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
you're
just.
right.
Ayumi
Where the
owes a
hell
lot
did
of
Micah
money.
learn to
If
make
you
the
want to
drinks
talk
like
to
that
her,
anyway?
of course, access
Let's
to the
face it,
lounge is
some
going to
people are
cost.
gifted.
Not only will you be able to experience one of the most the bartender down. Excellent. Please let us know. May all your journeys be safe.
What's up?
Yeah. What do you want? You must be zoned out of your mind. How the hell did you find that? It was Estelle Vincent, wasn't it? That bitch. I knew I should have kept that somewhere else. Here, take this pass. It should get you through the storage room entry to the facility. I'm warning you though. Once you're inside, you're trespassing in a high security zone. That means they shoot on sight. Good luck. You're going to need it. Remember, we never talked. Got it? You good?
If I have to eat fish for dinner one more time.
You know, everyone does their best work with security literally riding you.
Yeah, one of the test measures. Birds were so bad, we're lying in the ship.
done for?
Stop! Please! Don't shoot. If you want the encryption cipher, you're welcome to it. There's no need for all this violence. No. No catch. I'm not... At this point, I'd do anything. Oh, don't patronize me. I know I've spent everything always works out for him. And all the while,
This just makes me hate Benjamin even more.
Yeah.
The person that finally stands up to Benjamin is gonna be a goddamn hero.
You know what? The passcode from... I'm getting out of here. Because he's a two-faced... It's not like I should be... I mean, he's 11 years old. That's an understatement. I never knew my Ben's mother. And then there's Dad. Yeah. Look, I appreciate it. That's why I gave you the encryption sign. Thanks again for the talk. It really helped.
there you are. What kept you? It's obvious you're here to meet. I assume that same someone provided... All too well. You know, I should... That's the last... And I'm a businessman. It's because I don't negotiate. No. It may seem that way. Look, I'm not here to... All you have to do is tell...
Always the charmer.
One of your own, Well, unfortunately...
She gambled and lost.
So... Oh, when you get back to the key, be certain to give... Our business has concluded.
Tiny tin can of fragile humans has survived being hurtled through space once more.
Hey, Dad. Want to hear a poem I wrote? It's called a haiku. I just read about
Air
them.
pressure,
A haiku.
seals, ship integrity.
All hell's breaking loose, Rook. Delgado needs you in the repair bay. Oh, it's bad. Real. Now get your ass...
Rook.
And you are sure we will have those defense batteries up and running?
No. I'm not sure. They're in bad shape, Del. Really bad shape. I'm already using duct tape and spit to keep the station from falling apart, and you want me to pull a rabbit out of my hat?
I don't want to hear excuses. I want to hear that it's going to be fixed. Period. Get it done.
All right. I'm on it.
You want to quit standing there and hand over the conduction grid data?
Wow. Really?
You know what else isn't easy? From everyone.
All right, I get it.
All right, listen up because I don't want to repeat. We've gotten word that UC's... While we prepare for their arrival, No. I need you to stay the... Lay it out, Jess.
All right, first things first. All you need to do is... Oh, and if you haven't already, you'll need the comm spike module installed as well.
When did we get our own lackeys to do everything in creation while we lay back and watch SSNN?
Once your ship is ready, jump out to Bannock 4, board the... You better pray that isn't the case. Everything you'll need... You have any questions about... Nothing around here.
Del's right. You have to... After you board the Legacy, be on the... Once you locate the Vault's control center.
And before you get any bright idea, only a genius like... Yeah? Look, if that money ends up anywhere but the key, now get...
Now get your ass to Bannock 4.
I need to get those defensive batteries. The comm spike traces and decrypts coded signals. As long as you have the transponder ID, you can track. That file you lifted from the Galbank archives contained the Legacy's transponder code, which I'll program into your nav system. All you have to do is get with it. Well, you are the version for your... Instead, it just has a nice side effect. There are 3. They were part of the... The good news... The bad news is... Not a problem. All right. I need to get those defensive batteries online. Not a problem. I'd love to take your... All right, whatever. I need to get those The comm spike... That file you lit... All you have to do is... Well, you... The version for your... Instead, it just has a nice side... There are 3 They were part of the... The good news is... The bad news is... You just watch your butt out there. SysDef might be on your 6.
Shouldn't you be on your way to Bannock by now?
Yeah? I need to get those defensive batteries online, so make this fast. Well, you already know that the conduction grid does a... The version for your ship can still absorb incoming electrical energy. Instead, it just scatters the EM. Has a nice side effect. The comm spike traces that file you lifted from the... All you have to do is get within the vicinity. Not a problem. Conduction grid data is all set up in the system, so should be an easy install. I bet you would. I need to get those defensive batteries. Not a problem. Oh. I need to get those defensive batteries online, so make this fast. Still with me? Not a problem. Sounds like fun. I need to get those defensive batteries online, so make this fast. The comm spike traces and decrypts coded signals. As long as you... That file you lifted from the Galbank archives can... All you have to do is get with... Well, you already know that the conduction grid does a pretty nifty trick. It absorbs extreme voltage and converts it to usable power. The version for your ship can still... Instead, it just scatters the EM. As a nice side effect, I'm betting... There are 3 defensive batteries, basically high-powered military space. They were part of the UC's original. The good news is, the bad news is that they're... Make us all proud.
busy. Make it quick. This better be important. Get moving before it's too late.
I need to get those defensive batteries online. There are 3 defensive batteries. They were part of the The good news is that the batteries have an incredibly wide field of coverage, so they can pick off ships trying to... The bad news is... Well, you already know that the version for you... Instead, it just has a nice side effect. Not a problem. And I need your cash. I need to get those defensive batteries online. Not a problem. Fine by me. I need to get those defensive batteries online. Not a problem. I've got plenty. I need to get those defensive batteries. The ComSpike traces and decrypts coded. That file you lifted from the Galbank archives contained the Legacy's transponder code. All you have to do is get within the vicinity. Not a problem. Sure.
George Green. Ready for what comes next.
I'm listening.
We're free and clear for flight.
Jump complete. Want to do it again, just for fun? No? Maybe later.
Welcome back, Agent. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.